YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage, the beard rip stunty back here. My opponent, last time I spammed him with Gyrocopters, and it's the same guy. Look what he brought. Look at all the fell bats he brought. That's going to end up being a huge mistake. He's got the Stearnsman, 4 Graveguard, Claw of Nagash, Helmengor, so he's going with the regen army. I've got a ton of dwarf infantry, and I don't think his bats are going to pan out in this one, though. Obviously, there's enough of them. They're very well going to disrupt my my guys, but I've thrown them off here because last time I picked the gyro spam, and this time I was going with hopefully what was going to be a little hardier infantry build. I'm buffing all my troops with Thorgrim's Book of Grudges and then the Runesmith's special ability. So if you take like one of my dwarf warriors here, they got Forge Fire from the Runesmith, so extra armor piercing, extra missile resistance, which we won't need versus the vampires. I shouldn't have had that. I should have gotten rid of it. We got +8 leadership, +4 more leadership and melee attack, and then +8 melee attack there. So as long as I keep them close enough to these guys here, and I need to make sure and pull that in. So yeah, I think we can win here. I've got 2 Longbeards with great weapons to help deal with Graveguard. I've got a bunch of miners in the background. They're not the blasting charge variety, just extra hit points to try and ward off cavalry. I'm going to support those guys either with the Longbeards with great weapons or with the Thane. I'm keeping a Thane back here to help in the back line since he's a little sturdier and can hopefully bolster morale. My opponent's hoping to use zombies here. I'm going to try and target down the Claw of Nagash with my Quarrelers, and I'm holding a Iron Drake in reserve, and I'm hoping to shoot over the tops of my men into the infantry brawl. Great Guard have pretty solid armor, but I'm hoping that over time maybe the damage will add up and help me out versus the vampires. We'll see. My opponent's kind of camping in the back. I don't know what good sitting back here is going to do is the vampire. He may be walking. Yeah, he's walking. Vampires are just slow, so never mind. You can be walking and almost be camping with the vampires, apparently. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do with all these fell bats. They'll be annoying. It'll be a huge swarm of bats. And he's got like a ton of chevrons on these guys as well, and I don't know. I've never looked into it. Chevrons may be good on a bat. Could be. I don't think they're going to do any good if he engages them too early, though. We'll see. It's a little bit laggy right now because of him. I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to keep my Longbeards. I'm going to put my Thane right in the middle of these guys. I think he's going to come bum rush. This is pointless. He's way too early. So again, my opponent, I'm going to benefit from the fact that he really doesn't know what he's doing with the vampires here. So even though I think the vampires are certainly a little bit OP, what the stupid? Iron Drakes were on fire. Will, please don't do that, gents. He's spamming in his bats here. I can't tell what he's attacking. Almost looks like he's going after one of my, I'm going to try and just keep my guys here. The bats are... I'm not going to waste any of my runes here except for the one that's kind of like the Fate of Buna Light. Yeah, his bats are going to die terribly here and cause very little damage in return. Hopefully I can just keep my Quarrelers safe. Looks like we can. Yeah, his bats are going to crumble. So the bad thing for the vampires here is their guys aren't going to rout. They're going to crumble and disintegrate. And he's done this way too early. These guys could have been handy at getting rid of my skirmishers. This was a huge, huge mistake on the part of the vampires here. He's just doing this, though, because last time, like I said, I spammed him with Gyrocopters, and that's why he brought this. So I wasn't going to repeat that twice. He spent a significant investment on these bats. It's going to leave him at a significant disadvantage here. You can see my men actually have pretty sturdy attack stats here due to the presence of Thorgrim. Let's bring Thorgrim and the Runesmith over here too. I wish that the Runesmith had like a rune of slowness or something, or one of the Dwarf Lords did, so that it would help like slow down cavalry and other units that are nearby. That'd be great for the dwarfs. Or if like the Slayers had like that chilling type aura. Not the exact same one, but something similar to that, where being in their presence slowed units down or something. That would be freaking awesome. Yeah, see how far back he is? He's just not going to be able to make it to this battle in time, and it's pretty laggy too. It's most likely because all these bats, if he doesn't have a great connection or a great computer and all the bats are on here, it's going to jack up his frame rate and his connection probably. Like I said, his bats are going to crumble and disintegrate here, so this was a huge mistake. I'm going to go ahead and start swinging some miners out to the flanks. He's not going to have the ability to outflank me because he hasn't brought cavalry. I'll keep a couple of active reserves. The bats are going bye-bye. Okay, that's the end of the bats. Alright, Graveguard and zombies and all that kind of stuff have terrible charge bonuses, so I think it's going to be to my benefit to charge in. Do not fire at will. Your target is the Claw of Nagash. I'm going to bring my Longbeards up to support, and I'm going to bring my heroes up to support. Okay. Thane. Got these guys. The Claw of Nagash should eat it pretty quickly against my Quarrelers. And I've got, like I said, all my active reserves here, so we should be good. He's probably going to try and run off the Claw of Nagash. He is. Thing's got way too many hit points, in my opinion. But I think we're in good shape. I'm not going to use any of my runes yet either because it's just too early. We're just against... Actually, let's keep these guys in reserve here. Just kind of hold. There's Graveguard in the fight now, so I'm going to start pouring some flaming damage in here. Claw of Nagash is still eating it. He's not keeping it clear of the fight, but keeping it clear of the fight also means that he would have to take it far enough away it's not going to have any effect. Let's see if these Iron Drakes can help me get any work done here. Okay, my opponent is acting like he wants to engage my my miners over here. I've got plenty of reserves, so let's move up on this flank. Claw of Nagash is falling back. Okay, the miners ought to be a good way to pin these guys down. Stretch some more miners out here. I'm gonna go attack Helmengorst with a bunch of miners, just because I can. Mortis Engine has been forced back. Iron Drakes are actually racking up a bunch of kills. It's probably mostly zombies. But let's fire into the flank of this Graveguard fight and see if that does any good. Okay, the Claw of Nagash is coming back. Let's welcome it. I'm gonna keep one more active reserve here. Okay, let's see if these Iron Drakes do any good firing, and this will be a good test whether or not they can do any real damage against a unit with armor. Getting some really nice flank shots here. Not doing a ton of damage to my own men, but not doing a lot of damage to the Iron Drakes, or the not doing a lot of damage to the Graveguard either. Scoot these guys up just a bit. Claw of Nagash is out. So yeah, this fight victory is gonna be because my opponent doesn't really know what he's doing here. I'm not gonna kill Helmengorst real quick, but we'll end up killing him. Let's fire in here. I'm gonna come and engage these Graveguard from this flank so it keeps their flank open to my flamethrower. Sternsmen are almost untouched in here. Let's put some damage in on the Sternsmen. We're starting to get some damage done versus the Graveguard over here now with the Iron Drakes. Like I said, I'm going to engage these guys with another reserve unit. Gorst is just being tied down back here. The magical attacks on Thorgrim ought to be good to just kind of throw in here. Yeah. Should be doing significant damage with the Iron Drakes now. Yeah, they're racking up some kills. It's mostly because my opponent's really blobbed up here, but still, just goes to show that the way these guys fire with their arc, I'm not sure I endorse these guys yet. If you could keep them alive, though, they look to be particularly handy. And against crypt horrors, this ought to be pretty damaging. My opponent doesn't have any here. I'm going to keep firing at Gorst. Iron Drake's at 69 kills. Yeah, the Sternsmen should eat quite a lot of damage from Thorgrim. Gorst is over here eating it. Yeah, not a ton of damage versus an armored unit, but it's certainly helping. Certainly helping. 89 kills. Like I said, quite a few of those were zombies, but quite a few of them weren't. It's over for these vampires. My opponent definitely mispicked this, misplayed this. Don't really think that he knows how to use the vampires yet. And while the vampires are good, they're not a pick to win faction by any means. They can be beaten, especially when misplayed. They do have some units and combinations that are not good when combined with each other. Anyway, Beardrip Stunty, signing out. There's the kills there. So easy win for my guys here because of the pick of the vampires. The bats were a complete waste. The Claw of Nagash, if he would have had cavalry, would have been a really good pick because his cavalry would have made it very difficult for me. But I mean, as much money as he spent on these bats, he definitely could have had some Blood Knights. And the Graveguard with great weapons are probably an overpick. I think the standard Graveguard would have been a better pick versus the dwarfs. Some people might say, well, Air, they have armor piercing, but it's the cost that I don't like. So I think a standard Graveguard ends up being a little more cost effective for the vampires against the dwarfs. Just my thoughts. HeirofCarthage signing out.